Hi, Bob.
Hello. Thank you for sending all those good things. We're going to try to show some of them today, depending upon how gabby we are.
It looks like a picture from Laguna Beach.
That's right. We used to go up to Las Brisas and take that little walk, and this
Yeah.
is shooting down the beach from Las Brisas.
That's right.
And it was
It is
just
all the time.
used to be a wonderful restaurant, and then they changed management, and the prices went up and the quality went down. Oh, what's life? That's the way it is.
Bob, what's your background?
It's Laguna Beach.
Huh,
In the springtime.
It did look familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, look, Eve. We
What?
have the same background, but opposite.
Oh, well, I'm going and you're coming or something.
If you look at the right there,
Yeah.
they're exactly the same.
No, it's the same. You were looking at the same background. Yeah.
Well, I learned yesterday how to change it.
Yeah, it's fun to change it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's if you go and save pictures in your on your computer, you just import them real easy, and you add all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, I've done that
So
too.
you can be anywhere you want to be. So
That's right.
Whoa.
let's see. I imported some other stuff. This is
Aurora Borealis.
Oh, that's
This is down in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
oh yeah, because it says that on that boat.
Right. Went down there for my niece's wedding years ago. And it was just a wonderful place.
Never been there.
Now, of course, this is one of my favorite places.
Mm.
This is San Juan Capistrano.
How do you take the pictures and use them as a background, Bob?
Well, let's see. We got a few minutes. We'll share, okay? First off, you have to have some pictures on your computer, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go here and I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go to where pictures are here. And here's, let's see, here's, let's see where oh, these are the fun places we were playing around with. I don't remember what I've got in here, so I've got to be careful. Well, let me go to another place. Well, let's say that if you have a picture like this, okay?
Yeah, that's darling. This just
and what you need to do is have that picture available, know where it is on your computer, or just put it up on the desktop or something like that.
Yeah.
And then when you go into choosing the background, and see this little dot over, this little cross over here?
Uh-huh.
the
It
plus
says add images of video. So that's where you click on it.
Okay.
and you pick
And
the thing you want to watch, okay? And they can say, oh, these are the, oh, I'll add a picture. This is one of the pictures that I think Virginia sent me. And it's a picture of a bunch of bunnies.
Oh,
So where to go? Oh, there it is. So there's the bunnies right there. Say,
Oh, yeah.
just added. And if you don't like it, you can just exit out and goes away.
That's it.
what?
Very easy.
Yes.
So you got all these pictures you can play with.
How are you?
And I've added a lot of my own photos here.
That's a nice photo. Yeah.
This is La Jolla. And then, of course, this is Los Cabos. This is down in Mexico on a cruise. This is up in Vancouver. And this is where I started from. So I'll leave it at that today. So that's as easy as it is. So we can do a lot of nice things. Well, we got all kinds of more people joining us. Welcome, Bernie, Barbara, Meredith, and Nadine. So I was just showing Eve and Gloria how to change backgrounds. And you can actually add movies too. So if you don't like a still, you can have a movie so you can see things moving around in the breeze and stuff like that. So let's see. Well, Barbara, are you enjoying March Madness?
I am very upset at the moment
Oh,
Why?
because DirecTV has really screwed up TNT, and we're
Oh.
not getting the Purdue game at 4:30 so far.
TNT's not on DirecTV?
No, we get Spectrum. Sportsnet is coming in on channel 56.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Barbara, I know that they're supposed to be fixing that very soon. I'm so sorry
Teresa
about
told
that.
me they should be working on it.
Yeah. I'm really sorry about that.
Well, USC is playing tomorrow on TNT.
Well, you better hope then.
That doesn't bother me. I'm a UCLA. My daughters went to UCLA and they're playing on CBS.
You liked that game last night, didn't you?
I didn't even know about it. I
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I missed it. By the
was
time
a
I looked
good
at the
game.
brackets, it says, "Oh well, I'm glad they won. Otherwise, I would have not known anything about it."
It was a good game.
Well, apparently, yeah. So, and the games today, I was watching a little bit. They were pretty exciting to see these guys fighting to the finish, and someone going into overtime and all that. That's
Well,
really-
the ones I wanted to watch were on TNT, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's an exciting time to try to get all that stuff done. And I guess Indianapolis is probably a crazy place to be right now with all that activity.
Probably is. Probably
So
is.
let's hope they come out of it without messing themselves up too much.
It's
So,
practically my hometown, 15 miles away.
oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, that explains a little bit of your interest in basketball over there.
That's true.
So let's see. What should we do here? I had a bunch of different things on there today for the agenda, but we're always flexible.
Bob, I have some updates to give. I don't know if you want to wait for a few more residents, but I'd be happy to do that in a couple of minutes.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that.
I saw on the agenda you had a few things, so I thought I'd address those.
Yeah, and Judy Marsh is going to join us when she sort of wraps up bingo and all that. And we're going to talk about some of the activities, and she might get a little more into the March Madness stuff too. I think she'll be talking about that a little bit yesterday. And let's see what else I had. I wanted to get into some of the things that now that we're 1 year into this isolation, a new standard of living, what are the things that we miss the most that we may want to sort of influence our people here to put on the high priority list to get back into, get us back into the things that we really enjoy but can't do right now. And there's a lot of things changing, and I don't know how political some of this stuff is, because of course the CDC is supposed to be an independent agency, but I think there's a lot of political biases on them, and they're changing their tunes. I don't know if you saw in the news last night, but Rand Paul was arguing with Dr. Fauci
Oh, yeah.
on the in the Congress, and I thought they're going to have a fisticuffs going back, but all the follow-up news articles, Dr. Fauci was saying he's totally wrong, he's missing the boat and everything else. The argument was, if you've been vaccinated, you don't need to wear masks anymore, right? And Dr. Fauci, no, that's not true. He said, that's the only way we're going to suppress the virus is get vaccinated and wear masks, let this whole thing die down. Because you need both factors to reduce this prevalence of the COVID vaccine, COVID virus all over the place. Well, they wouldn't agree on that. So, yeah.
And Rand Paul really knows what he's talking about. He's an ophthalmologist.
Well,
Yeah.
supposedly he went to medical school.
Yeah.
An ophthalmologist.
Follow the science. Follow the science.
Yeah, well, follow the science. We're going to have a quick little demonstration of what the science means, okay? And this is based upon something that Gloria sent me, okay? There's always you learn things from hearsay, and you treat them as real. And then when you go to high school and you learn physics, and in college you learn a lot more stuff, and they say, no, that's not true. And so I'm going to show you a movie of the Galileo experiment, okay? And this is Compliments of Gloria. And it's rather interesting. And the story is, why does a heavy object fall faster than a slow object, okay?
And a light object.
Than a light object, right? And so we have this experiment, and the only thing I have a problem with is all the money they must have spent in trying to put this thing together.
Oh.
So here we go. So we're comparing a bowling ball,
All right.
but what they're doing it is in a vacuum chamber.
Oh,
No, that's not in the vacuum changer. This is in
That's
air.
without the vacuum.
That's with,
the true nature of gravity. We have to remove the air.
Now they're taking the air out.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It takes 3 hours to pump out the 800,000 cubic feet of air from the chamber.
Drop 2 Militor in the last 30 minutes.
But once it's complete, there's a near perfect vacuum inside.
And this gonna prove.
Galileo's experiment was simple. He took a heavy object and a light one and dropped them at the same time to see which fell fastest.
This is a repeat. This is, okay, you repeated it.
I don't know
In
what
this
happened.
case, the feathers
Went back.
Let
Okay,
me
Yeah.
go back.
it went back.
There's no air in there. He can't be in there.
Experiment here.
Yeah, They have a countdown.
Just like he said it would.
He was just,
Like Galileo said.
Did he talk
So,
about?
Was
so
Galileo.
you can see it costs a lot of money to try to reprove everything in the world.
Exactly the same.
Move nothing.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta shut this thing off. Okay. I don't want to have too many interferences. So we proved something that we already knew, but unfortunately, in the world of medicine, you don't have laws of physics. You just have empirical practices, and you can't prove them. So the idea of trying to prove that a mask is going to do this or that, all you can do is back it up with a lot of data. And if we don't have the data, then you just have to, depend upon the sources you're listening to, and that's a toughie, and that's what we're going through in a lot of this
It
stuff.
does make sense if you have the virus. I mean, if you have the vaccine, you won't necessarily get the virus, but you certainly could be a carrier and
That's right.
spread it.
Right, that's right.
So
And
that
you
makes
can still get the virus, but you won't get as sick.
it right. So wearing a mask doesn't seem like such a big deal.
There was an interesting article about how the people in the UK were only doing one shot and delaying the second shot for 3 months or so they could get the first shot out to a lot of people more faster. And that's what drove their curves down. And so they're thinking that process may be the best one for a lot of these emerging market lower countries that are having trouble getting started. You just try to vaccinate as many people as fast with just one shot, and then go back and give them the second shot later. We didn't do it that way, but there's a lot of debate whether it's this way or not, but apparently it's a good idea. But that's another issue where they talk about science, but it's not really science. It's just empirical evidence. So it's a toughie, and I'm getting too technical for so let's go back to our stuff. So let's see. Happy spring. Tomorrow is the spring equinox. We are going to have more daylight. The equinox means equal nights, equal days, okay, in terms of time. So we're switching off, so we now have longer time, longer daylight. And for some people, that means more pollen. And it bothers me too. So I'll be sniffling around a little bit more so as we goes around. But anyhow, it's a nice time to in the year to enjoy things. We'll start seeing more flowers budding and everything else, except my plumerias. My plumerias are just dead, and I don't know if they'll ever come back. So,
Bob, you need sun.
what?
You need sun. They need sun.
Oh yeah, well I'm on the north side. I don't get sun.
Right.
I sometimes get a little reflection off the other buildings, but that's it. So anyhow, but it's a nice thing to look forward to, and of course, this means we're going to have the first full moon in springtime. And that's called the worm moon. I just put that up on the Village News the other day. So for people who are looking for trivia, it's called the worm moon because it happens after the equinox, first day of spring. Why it's called the worm moon, the Farmer's Almanac says it's either caused when earthworms start to pop out of the ground because it's starting to thaw out and they want to
Fishing time.
stuff. And all the birds and bees come out and chase the worms. Or there's another one that has to do with beetle larvae. And I don't all the stuff. But anyhow, that's more trivia than you need to know. So the worm moon. And let's see. I think we have a quota. We can start talking about meaningful things. So let me turn it over to Nadine because she's sort of been silent on Thursdays now because there wasn't a lot of news, but I'm sure she has some great things to tell us.
Well, with last week's weather and this week we didn't have a whole lot to announce. We did cancel the Sip and Waves, but we'll be back on track beginning next Thursday. But I do have some updates for you. Number one, we have last week we talked about on the Zoom call, we talked about updating the resident handbook. Meredith kindly has taken on that task once again. She did it 2 years ago and she did it again this week to reflect changes, including the care center and other few things. And I'll let her cover that when it's her turn. We have no positive cases again this week.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey,
We had this week, we were told we had access to some Johnson & Johnson vaccines through our pharmacy. And so we identified a few more employees who were willing to get it. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
We're going to get those employees vaccinated. We had one move-in yesterday, so one move-in for the month of March. We have 3 move-ins for the month of April and 2 move-ins for the month of May.
Oh,
We've had quite a few tours, and Meredith can speak to that. Several tours this week and last week, so it's really picking up.
good.
We're waiting for a memo, I believe, that will be coming in very, very shortly from the Department of Social Service, and there will be some changes on visitation, dining, although dining we have already opened up, and also on quarantine. So once we get through that information, we're going to get it out to you so you can have it in writing as well.
Visitation will be, somebody can come into the apartment or?
It looks that way, but we need to read through it, but it is definitely loosening up more than what it has. So we will get that out to you as quickly as possible.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay. We're planning to open up the bistro sometime in April, and we'll be opening it up for breakfast and lunch only to begin with. But as soon as we do that, we're going to stop the delivery of breakfast and lunch. As long as the Grove dining room is at minimal capacity, in other words, we cannot accommodate everybody for dinner, then we will continue to do deliveries for dinner.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions about that?
Is there a plan when the bistro will serve dinner?
We will. We will likely do it when we can accommodate everybody, because it's too hard for us to have minimum capacity in the Grove and deliver meals all over campus and have the bistro open. It's just, we've got staff going in too many directions. So what will happen is, as soon as we can accommodate everybody back into the dining room, like we were prior to the pandemic, then we will stop the deliveries and we will open up the bistro at the same time for dinner.
Terry?
When are you going to start continental breakfast again?
In the Red Chair Lounge?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, good question. We're going to start with that's a very good question. We have not discussed it. We'll start with the bistro. And once we're able to, we'll go from there and we'll open up the Red Chair Lounge, but I don't have a date yet.
Good.
Okay. But that's a really good question. Thank you, Terry. I will talk to Kim about that because we haven't discussed it. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Go ahead.
I have one more announcement. Beginning in April, early April, we're going to reduce the testing to 25% a month. So currently we're doing 100% a month. We'll reduce to 25% a month for vaccinated residents and staff. In other words, if you're fully vaccinated, you will only need to test 1 time per month.
Okay.
And those who have not been vaccinated will have to test weekly.
Okay.
And we're going to begin early April.
And if you have symptoms, you probably want to go and have a test anyhow, right?
Yes, that's definitely.
Sure. Okay, Gloria, you have a question.
What about the daily temperature taking?
We have not addressed that and we haven't received any information about that yet. I mean, that's still one way to identify if anyone is having symptoms or not feeling well. I'm sure at some point we'll taper that off, but we don't have any plans yet at the moment.
This is a little speculation, but now that the Orange County is in the red zone, so restaurants are 25% capacity for indoor eating. If we get to the orange zone, they would go to 50% capacity.
Oh,
And so do you assume that if we get close to the orange zone, public health will increase our capacity numbers?
I would think so. And like I said, there's this new information coming out from Department of Social Service, and it does include dining. So I need to read through it carefully and maybe ask our local Department of Social Service to understand exactly what that looks like in terms of capacity.
Yeah.
So we'll follow whatever guideline they're going to give out to us. If we're going to increase, if we're allowed to increase it, absolutely we will.
Terry, your question?
What are you going to do about the opening of Disneyland? Can we start attending or are we holding back?
Going to Disneyland?
Hmm.
Oh,
They're opening up.
oh, you can absolutely go to Disneyland, Terry. I mean, we don't, you guys can go wherever you want outside of Walnut Village. Our guidelines are just for our village, but if you want to go to Disneyland, by all means, you should.
Yeah, we're going to notice that with the traffic increase for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you, Nadine. It's nice to have all this stuff to look forward to, but I would sort of have to, keep our masks on and bear with it until the next few events are announced and so forth.
Yes.
And I'm happy to hear that we still no positive tests and no cases in the village. So it's great. So
Yeah.
I was going to say now I'll give a chance to Meredith. Would you like to have a chance to talk now?
Sure. Okay, so hopefully you all have realized that you got the newsletter in your weekly packet today.
Oh.
So the marketing newsletter was handed out to all the residents. It's got Bill McCaughey's story on there. That's the one that was distributed to our prospects and to a mailing list. So everyone should have gotten a copy. The other point, the Ken Cooper story from last week has been submitted to the Orange County Register, and they are going to print it in their local news Bravo section. So that is not up online yet, but it's coming. So we'll keep checking and keeping an eye on it, but it's definitely going to be put online. We're not sure if it's going to be in the actual newspaper or not, but we're going to keep an eye on things. And then the other update was what, along with what Nadine mentioned, which was about the resident handbook. We had to make some changes regarding the care center. So I went ahead and made those changes. I did want to let you all know, it was mentioned or brought to our attention that it wasn't in the handbook regarding x-ray services, rehab services, or the car Uber / Lyft services. But yes, all of those things are in the handbook. They don't name specific companies because companies can change. So rather than listing a specific company with a specific phone number, it basically states that those services are available. You just need to either contact the front desk for transportation or contact Pam, basically Director of Resident Services, for the x-ray or the rehab. So all of that was in the handbook. So
Hi.
I just wanted you guys to know that that was.
I called
there.
you back. I've got the Zoom weekly meeting on here for, yeah, okay.
I think that was it. Was that it, Nadine? Oh, yes, Barbara.
Are all residents going to get a new copy of the handbook?
Go ahead.
Sure. In the memo that you received today, we noted the changes. We noted that there are changes to the handbook. However, the handbook is 56 pages, as you all know. We didn't want to just send out 56 pages to close to 200 residents. It's quite a lot of paper, especially for those who are not interested in it. So what we're doing is we're putting a copy in the library where the Walnut Village resources are located. So you have access to it there. And then we're noting in the memo today, if you are interested in receiving a new copy of it, please inform Teresa and she'll get a copy to you. That way we don't just automatically waste a whole bunch of paper. But if you'd like a new copy, you can have one.
Well, mine's never been updated, so.
Sure, let her know that you'd like a new copy. Yeah.
Yeah. And there weren't really a lot of updates. Just what I did with the last update, the December 2019 one, was if you may remember when you moved in and you got your resident handbook, there was a very thick stack of memos that were clipped to the front. What I did was incorporate those memos into the handbook. So when I did do the original update, it wasn't to add new information per se. It was just to streamline it and make it so that we were doing less copies and not expecting you to go through that big stack of memos, and sort of streamline it and put it all together. And it was just a little better formatted. So that was pretty much it. There really hasn't been a significant amount of changes since then. Really, the care center changes is the only thing we've had since December 2019. So at least there isn't constantly being changes made to the document. It stays pretty constant over the years.
Is there a process that one could, use to say, I don't need 56 pages new, but I'd like to know which pages have changed versus my copy, so I can get, maybe a half a dozen pages updated?
Yes and no. So if you moved in before the 2019 revision, it has basically been significantly changed. Because I had to add all those memos in. So I added sections, I shifted pages, I changed the table of contents. It's a more comprehensive document. Instead of taking the original, which was I think 2012, then 2014, and having a stack of memos added to it. So if you received yours before 2019, which you did, then I would recommend just getting a new one. And so anyone who's moved in since then, I think I only changed 4 or 5 pages today with the care, and that's only care center wording is all saying basically that it's been closed versus we have one. So that would be the delineation is 2019.
And when will these be available?
Should be now. I don't know what it says in the memo. I did it today and Teresa has it. So it's complete.
I mean, does it have to go out for print, or you are?
No, we can print it here. We just don't want to print 200 copies. So
I understand. Okay.
It should be in the memo to say to contact her or to say with the front desk. I'm not sure the procedure that they've put in place, but it technically is ready.
Okay. And Bernie, I'm going to ask you as standing in as our acting president-elect of the resident council. Have we had a chance to collaborate with Meredith on the handbook versus the residence guide to see if there's commonality or overlap or gaps?
When you're talking about the residence guide, you're talking about the green book?
Yeah.
I can put my mask
Okay,
on.
we're busy updating it.
Well, that way they know you're here.
We're busy updating it. And when it gets updated, I'll give it to Meredith to take a look at it. And she can point out where there are any conflicts.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we understand which book we go to for what subject, that kind of thing. And if it's clear.
The Green Book is designed for new residents. It's not designed for people that have been here for several years. It introduces the residents to what we have to offer.
Okay,
So it doesn't include what's going on now. It's a
okay.
basic reference material, but it's only really good for 4 or 5 months. And then the resident is expected to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
Bernie, it's also my understanding that that book was designed to tell people that were new to the area where the banks are, where the grocery
Yes.
stores are,
Yeah.
where the library is. It's just supposed to be a reference guide on where to find things in the neighborhood
Right.
versus Walnut Village, right?
Yes, and there's, I don't know, maybe a dozen pages of listing. And it's going to take some time to go through that and update it. Now, Dick Gray originally put that book together several years ago, and he's offered to help me update it.
Judy, you have a question?
Yes,
No?
that book is also the only place where you can find policies and procedures. And so it is a reference for some length of time. And I mean, there's no other good place for them.
Yeah.
They don't belong in the book Meredith is putting together because they're resident council.
Yeah. It's a charter for the resident council, really, isn't it? And all the
Yes,
committees
but-
and activities. Well, I don't know.
Yes,
They don't want to update.
Okay.
but we give it to every new resident, incoming resident. We don't distribute it updates because the updates are continuously being made. So my best suggestion is that if you want a copy of the bylaws or the procedures, let us know and we'll get you one.
Okay.
And that, Bernie, that's pretty consistent with what we're doing with the resident handbook as well, because we continuously make changes to it. But, you know, like I said today in the memo, we formally announced that it's been updated. And if you'd like a new copy, just let Teresa know and we'll get it to you.
Okay. Good.
Well, I guess I'm happy to hear that people actually read it.
All righty. Well, let's move on. One of the things that I noticed now that we're starting to get out of our apartments and do a little socializing in the Red Chair Lounge and dining together in the Grove, people are forgetting to wear their badges, and that's that was a good discipline we had before we got shut down and with COVID. And we have a lot of new residents here that we need to get to know, and they need to figure out who we are.
Right.
And so I'm recommending, wear your badge so you can get to know the residents and they can get to know you.
And when we take our masks off, they won't know us either.
Well, they can go to the photo book for that.
Right.
So it's just a reminder, and it helps us say, well, hey, I'm going to go out and socialize today. I put my badge on.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I noticed a lot of the new residents now, instead of having the gold badges, are getting white badges. Is that a change in style or earmark of something different? Or can anyone address that?
The badges are gold. They're not white. The white ones were for, we had to order new ones for the residents, and they have gold ones. Ask Terry and Joe Lefevre. It's gold. They're gold. They should be gold.
Oh, but some of the people are still wearing white ones. Are those temporaries?
The white ones we put together for guest stays, but they turn them back in. But I think the white ones are the birthday show people. They have special badges for that. I think Gary still wears. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what might be what you're seeing. So they're getting gold.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I had dinner with the Evans last night and they were wearing white badges. And I says, oh.
Yeah,
But
I don't
they
know
had been
why.
visitors too, so I know that's okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe when they did their guest day, they kept their badges from the guest day. If they've got the little clock tower picture on the badge, then those are the marketing guest day badges.
Ah, yeah, that's what they are.
And-
Right.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's not normal.
That's not policy. Okay.
No. But
Barbara,
we're not
what's
going to go over, we're not going to go and take them away. So
No, I
that's
understand.
okay.
Barbara, go ahead.
Nadine, I think TNT is back on.
Excellent. I knew they were working on it. Good.
Okay,
I'm happy
great.
now.
Thank you. I'm happy you're happy.
Okay, let's see. So we mentioned that the Disneyland Park is opening at the end of April, and Knott's Berry is opening the 1st of April. So we're going to have a lot more traffic around here and a lot more visitors. So Nadine hinted that she's expecting visitors policies may change in the next weeks or month or so. So it's kind of nice to hope that if people, relatives in the area, if they're going to come to Knott's Berry or Disneyland, can maybe stop by and visit with us, or just come by and pick us up and go to Disneyland together or something like that. But it doesn't seem like we actually have a clear view of when we can invite them back here and have dinner with us. So we're going to have to work on that one. So let's see. Oh, Bill, what you got?
I sure hope that changes pretty soon, because they got a bunch of people who have season passes at Disneyland, and they want to come over here and watch the fireworks on my balcony and drink wine. So Nadine, let's get working on that. All right, Nadine?
Absolutely.
Bill, I have to tell you, most of the season passes that were given to the Disney employees have been taken away. They're no longer valid.
I understand.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately, there was a choice between a pass or a free Disney Plus subscription. My daughter went through that situation. She got the subscription and she says, I wish I had the pass, but she's gonna have to pay, although she can use her badge. She works at Hulu, but it's a Disney company, but she's hoping she can use her badge to get herself in like a pass, but that's not for everybody. It's everything's changing for sure. So we'll see. March Madness. We started talking about it, and Barbara's excited now because TNT is back online.
We'll see Purdue tonight.
It was nice because Judy Marsh, she published.
Here, Judy's here.
The brackets.
Oh, there
Judy,
she
you
is.
want to have a chance to tell us what the brackets are about and how we can use them?
I put a couple dozen brackets in the post, and that lists the games, the starting games, at least for the first tier. And we'll fill them in as we know who has won until we get to the final four. And we'll keep it posted we'll keep them into the post. And there was some stuff today, I think, in the packet that we put out about March Madness. I'm a big March Madness person because I'm from North Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
But it's there, so pick it up if you have any questions, or come see me. I'll keep filling it in as I know who the winners are of the games.
But we're not going to have any games or
Not yet. We
pools
can't
or-
congregate inside, so I'm
okay.
not gonna have anything set up, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I was trying to point out USC is playing tomorrow afternoon around 1:30 on TNT, and they are playing Drake, who was the winner of the first four that was played on Thursday. UCLA is playing the winner of, well, they were the winner of this Michigan State game, and they're playing 6:30 Saturday on CBS, and they're playing BYU.
I have all the channels.
So if people are into that stuff, CBS and TNT are the primary stations. There are a few other stations that are carrying the games, and they are exciting games. Those kids are really playing hard because they don't have much of a chance to lay back and have a second chance here. This is sort of a one shot, goes through the whole play thing. And if you're into basketball at all, this is fun stuff to watch. Okay.
That's me at the bottom. I'm switching to phone, just in case
Okay,
you're wondering where I am.
I see. Okay.
Okay,
I couldn't figure out who that was, so I'll put you in there.
that's me. Thank you.
So let's see. So this gets me to the next thing on the agenda that I had put together. We've been in COVID lockdown or isolation for about a year now. And the staff has done a lot of things to bring us back the things they can do right now. But what are two or three things that you miss the most that as we start to open up, you want to put on Judy's priority list? Like for instance, the bus trips to restaurants for nice lunches together, or going to museums and outings and stuff like that. We haven't talked about the bus trips and what the constraints are, but they were a lot of fun.
Bob, would you like me to tell you some of the things that Nadine and I have been talking about today that we are going to be doing as we go further into the month?
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, that way we don't have to just sort of throw darts at the board. Yeah.
You can throw them at the board, just not at me. As you know, we've all been playing cards. Actually, the residents have been playing more cards and more games than they ever did when we were open. So most of the time we have anywhere from 3 to 4 tables going in the veranda room of different types of games. And we never had that many going at one time. Plus now they're playing in the evenings. They're playing poker in the evenings. They're playing Mahjong again in the evenings. And as we open up a little bit more, we will we'll add more things to it. Poker we're back to doing poker on Wednesday nights. I have a surprise for everybody. I have going to be bringing in Lilies of the West. And I know all of you Lilies of the West. Yeah. They will be here on Wednesday, April 14th, I believe at 2:00 in the afternoon. In the month of April, activities are going to be just the same way that they have always been in the courtyards. We're going to have entertainment in all 3 courtyards. I am looking at my numbers since we're playing cards and playing all sorts of games during the day. The numbers of people, of residents attending all 3 courtyards has really diminished. So starting in May, because I know we're going to continue playing all the card games, we're going to only bring in the entertainers and let them play for an hour and a half in one courtyard each week. It's been very difficult finding the different types of entertainment that are willing to move to 3 courtyards. It's really very difficult and very strenuous on the entertainers. So by cutting back the amount of time that they're playing, if they only play for an hour and a half, they only play in one courtyard, and we'll alternate the courtyards. I am able to pay them less, and I'm able to bring in different musicians, different groups, such as the Lilies of the West. We're going to try it and see how it works in the month of April. If having them just play for an hour and a half, I'm able to keep everybody social distancing. We're going to do it in the big court, in the big bistro courtyard. If that works, then as we go forward in the month of May, then we will go to that particular setup. And I think that way you'll hear more entertainment, you'll hear different entertainment, and I'll have more people being able to attend the different performances. And I'm sure you've all noticed that our numbers have been reducing.
Yeah.
And these entertainers are quite expensive to bring in. And if we're only playing to 25 to 30 people in all three courtyards, it's not truly cost effective. And I'm trying to figure out a way that I can be cost effective, but yet getting you more entertainment that you might enjoy. You were talking also about lunch outings. Raise your hand and applaud. Nadine said that starting in May, I can start our Tuesday lunch outings. They will be limited. I will only be able to take 12 people at a time. I will ask everybody where they would like to go so that we are going to restaurants that everybody likes. To start off with, I'm going to make sure that the restaurants do have outdoor dining with umbrellas, because that's how I think we'd all feel safer right now, is to go to outdoor dining. And there's a lot of places that have that.
Yeah.
If you remember when we had Chinese New Year, I put up the tree, and on that tree, I asked the residents to tell me that your question. What was the one thing or two things that you missed the most during our COVID lockdown? And most of them said, obviously, the socialization, going to the concerts, going to the museums. I'm not quite sure I'm ready to take you to the museums right now because they're only at 25% occupancy once they open up just a little bit. But that doesn't mean we can't go to places like Rogers Garden that are outdoors. And those are the kind of venues that we're going to be looking at going. I checked this morning, and the cities do not have online yet any of their concerts. You know, the summer concert park. If anybody finds any or sees any, let me know. Transportation is ready, you know, to take us whenever, and we are ready, you know, they're ready when we are, but we got to make sure that it's still safe. You know, guys, we still need to wear our masks. We still need to follow some of the procedures. And I don't want us to go into huge crowds. That doesn't mean that we won't go to some of the outdoor craft shows. The residents really enjoy the outdoor craft shows. Don't think I'm ready to take you to the movie theaters yet. We had very few people that wanted to go to the movie theaters. Showing movies in, Nadine and I talked about showing movies here. We're still not quite ready for that because we still can't put more than 12 people into a room at this particular time, but that will change. You know, that will change as we go forward. I've had quite a few requests since everybody's been locked down for a year and they have been cleaning their closets. They wanted to know when we could do a trash to treasure sale. We are going to do a trash. I haven't put a date yet, but it will be sometime in the end of April. And we're going to do it like a farmer's market. We're going to put everything out on tables scattered all through the entire courtyards, all the courtyards. So we, you know, it'll be kind of fun to find that one thing, but that way we won't cluster in one particular area. And we will do it, you know, on an all day. And we're going to still do bingo. I'm not going to stop doing bingo. I will still do it in the courtyards. Just as we were doing today, I got very tired. By the time I got to that third courtyard, I could barely keep my eyes open because it was really warm. Celebration of life. Chaplain and I have been discussing this at great detail, and we think that now it's time for us to do a celebration of life. It's been 2 years and we have that plan to mark it down, and I'll put out plenty of notice, but celebration of life will be April 22nd, which is Earth Day. We will plant two rose bushes, and we will do it out in the courtyard, and it's going to be very, very lovely. And we will recognize all those, not just those who died from COVID, but we have lost a lot of friends during the last 2 years. And it's time that we say goodbye to them. And this is, Chaplain and I are putting that together, that mark that day. Cinco de Mayo is on May 5th. And I do have entertainment coming that particular day for Cinco de Mayo. I don't know what else we'll be doing, but I've already contracted. I think happy hour, everybody. Let's talk about that. Nadine asked that we do happy hour 7 days a week. I put the sheets out in plenty of time. They're out today on your tables. We have had maybe I think last night was the first night in the last 3 weeks that we've had 3 tables full. You're not coming to happy hour. I know the hour is early. I know you'd like it at 4:30. Kitchen's just not ready to do that yet, but soon we will. It's just a wonderful opportunity for everybody to sit and talk with one another. No plexiglass. You can actually see people and talk to them and hear them. And the kitchen does do some really nice appetizers, and you get wine, and then you can go on to dinner. But please, take advantage of happy hour. I've stopped the chats because you are beginning to socialize just a little bit more than you have before. I am also going to start something probably at 9:30 in the mornings outside the bistro, where groups can come. We don't have to sign up, just show up, where you can just sit and talk for 45 minutes to an hour, have a cup of coffee, and talk with one another. This would be a good time for those that are in the military or were in the military to get together and talk about some of their old military times. Friends to get together and talk about family. I talked to Kim and she said 9:30 in the morning. You don't have to sign up for it. Just come. They'll serve you probably coffee or tea, some orange juice, and maybe a cookie. It is not breakfast. You will not get, it's not a continental breakfast yet, but it's a start. We're beginning to come back. There really is light at the end of that rainbow, and at that end of the tunnel. Thank you all for being patient. My Life Enrichment team has really been working hard, trying to think of new ways and good ways to think out of the box. And I see Bill Orth is on. I need to thank him. If you will go outside the post in the hallway, I have some of the new resident bios up on the wall, and he put them up for me. And some of our residents have written them. So please go by and find out a little bit more about our new residents. Gonna do, the book club is back in function, back working, and they're gonna be on Tuesday, April 6th. One session at 11 and another session at 12. I think Life Enrichment has been busier during COVID than we are normally. But we have a lot going on. It's going to take us some time before we're comfortable getting on that bus and going shopping. I don't think we're going to do that for a while. We certainly don't want to go to the museums until they open up a little bit more. Certainly not to the movie theaters yet, but outdoor things, as I said before, like Sherman Gardens and Rogers Garden, things that are outside. The outside, I know some of you say that you want more fruits and vegetables. And the farmers markets are opening. So we may very well take a trip at 4:00 in the afternoon to the Fullerton, I think it's Thursday, to the Fullerton Farmers Market so that you can buy some fresh produce. So those are all the things that are on our agenda. Please let me know if there's things that you want to do that we have not planned. And also what restaurants you would like to go to when we first go in the month of May. Let's make this a two-way street. I don't want it to be Judy's activities. I want us all to be resident-centered. So please let me know, and I know you will. That's all I have to say. Throw your
Thank
questions.
you, Judy. And I think you were on a round of applause for all the stuff that you've done. And we appreciate all the work you put into this. And it's been, thanks to you, we haven't just turned into little moles and hibernated for a year. There's all kinds of activities that we have enjoyed. So anyone want to give a comments? Yeah,
Bob?
Bill.
I want to pass on something that happened last night, and it's an indication of how important it is to what Judy and her staff are doing where we live. I spoke for over an hour with a longtime friend in Chicago. Lives alone, very lonely, can't get out and see her friends for dinner. February is a total lockdown with blizzards, weather in the minus degrees, all this other kind of stuff. And I was telling her what goes on out here. And she was like, get me on an airplane. I need to get out of Chicago. I need to come out to where you guys are. And we started planning a trip to San Francisco to meet all of our alumni up there from when we used to work in San Francisco. She is so bound up in Chicago with all the nothing to do. So we are blessed people. You don't believe how blessed we are unless you talk to someone like that. And then I'd like to also point out, I missed it today, but the Anaheim Public Library Wellness Series offered a loneliness during COVID-19 Zoom meeting. And that in itself would have been very helpful for me to get back to her with some ideas and for me to understand the issue of loneliness during COVID-19. Also, in May, they have the management, stress management and coping skills Zoom session that's coming up. I guess I'm pointing out all of this because our library downstairs has made quantum leaps in doing things that have never been done before in the 4 years that I've been here. And we need to remember to help take care of those things because we can help others by passing that information along. And I really appreciate, Judy, what you've said because I tagged on a lot of that comment last night to this person who I've known for years. Thanks, Judy.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are privileged to have all of those activities and still trying to find ways to keep us active and not become hermits hibernating in our apartments.
Rob, can I jump in just for one more second?
Sure.
I have talked to Nadine, and you know, we have always been known as the traveling community because we would take at least 2 to 3 out of town trips.
Yeah.
I am planning an out of town trip, a bus trip, probably the first week of December. There again, you know, it all depends upon what happens, but and we are going to go to Solvang. We're going to go to Chumash up there. We're going to go to Hearst Castle, Lynn's Bakery for dinner, go down to see the manatees and then head back home again. And Mario is going to be driving for us. And it should be the first week in December. I haven't put anything out yet. It'll be a small deposit and it will be 100% refundable if we need to do so. We were so fortunate that we got our cruise in 2020. We got it in right, you know, a week before everything closed down. So we still did do a trip that year. So we're going to continue. We're going to get back. We're known as, you know, the traveling community in Front Porch. We're the only one that travels. And
well, that's great. That's great. We like to behave as a family. We treat each other like a family. We can travel and have fun together as a family. That's great. So I have one of those areas subject. If you, unless somebody else wants to go off on another tangent, for people who love old movies, there's a service that's available through the public library systems called Canopy. Okay. Canopy is not available from Anaheim Library. It is available from the Orange City Public Library. It's also available through the Los Angeles County Libraries. So if you can get a library card either from Orange City Library or through the LA County Library, and I don't know all the requirements for. I lived in Orange for 50 years and I have a card. And let me show you a little bit about Canopy. It's a service. Once you sign up on the library system, you get access to this application, and you can watch it on your computer, or if you have an Apple TV or Roku and all that, you can load it into the sharing and watch it on your TV. But it's a great service that I found offers a lot of things that you cannot find anywhere else. Here's, for instance, this is a screenshot of the things where I'm looking for classic cinemas and romantic comedies. And these are movies you can watch for free. You get up to 5 of them a month. And you can look at some of these old, if you love these old movies, and I love the old romantic comedies, there's such great things to see. What you have to do is go to, let's see if I got it set up here now.
You have to live in Orange or live in LA to use one of their cards?
Well, I don't know exactly the criteria. It used to be you had to be an Orange resident. I don't know if they allow Anaheim people or not, but this is you can, if you lived in LA County, you can get these. This is an email I just got today about all the new movies that they have. Let's see. Where am I trying to find? If you go to, come on, I want to show my favorites. Here we go. If you go to the Canopy, you can go to LA Public Library and you can sign up there. This is, or you can go to the Orange Public Library, which is the county library, does not have the same things. They have a electronic library, but they don't have Canopy. They have Hoopla, and Hoopla is another film thing you can do. Oh, I got to log into that. Well, now you know. So that doesn't. I'm not gonna. So let's see. Where am I here? I didn't rehearse this very well. The library services at Anaheim allow you to go to online resources, and they have very little in the terms of movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So I was kind of disappointed when I saw that. So I went back to see, well, because I also have, as part of the Orange Library, gosh, where is it? Orange. You got to be careful when you say Orange Library, because there's a lot of places in Florida that are called Orange Library too. So, but you can go here, and these are some of the movies, and this is all the kind of subjects. I just looked at comedy and romance about the good old film, but there's all kinds of documents, arts, business, media, health, languages you can study, education, sciences, social sciences. So it's a wonderful service if you want to pursue it. I'm running out of times here, so I think what I will try to do is put this into the Village News and explain that if you, I don't know what all the criteria for getting an Orange, a City of Orange library card, but I don't think they're terribly restrictive because they have more resources than the Anaheim Library for sure, and when Michelle Foyt was explaining that stuff, I was kind of disappointed because the Anaheim didn't have magazines and everything else, and Orange has magazines and music you can download and everything else. So it's a lot of it's worth interesting if you're looking into it. Let's see. We have a few other things we can talk about. We can have some fun with before we sign out. Let me share some of these things here for you. Let's see. We have, this is one that Gloria has been telling me we have to show, and so I'm going to show it. It's a librarian spent a lot of time doing this.
Yeah.
And so if you're a librarian or a person like this, you can figure out what they did. It's a bookshelf, and and you read the titles, and it says the English patient had caught it on the beach. I should have stayed home, she said. Now she was in quarantine in the dark. The house of splendor still. Hope springs eternal with a little bit of luck. Common sense and personal hygiene, the Concha Book of Horror Stories, must end soon. So the Rory's Defender clean hand saves, and women, when in doubt, don't go out. That was all done by reading the titles from that bookshelf. Now, wasn't that interesting? Okay, here's one. If you have a child or a grandchild, you will enjoy. If you wanted to share with that child what a lemon tastes like, enjoy this.
It's not moving. Should it be moving? We're seeing a frozen image.
Oh, is it frozen?
Yes.
Why is it frozen?
Well,
I don't know.
Let me try it again.
it didn't get to where you were going. There it is.
Okay. We'll go back here a little.
Why would you torture a kid like that?
Yeah, right.
Oh. That's a Mai Tai.
That was cute. I love it when they
I
smile.
think some of these are hams on, they'd like to get on TV and they,
Yeah.
They're used to looking at cameras. Oh, that's a good one.
Look for punishment.
See, you spoil his kids on sweets. Okay, so that was
That's cute.
that was a cutie. Let's see. Yeah, we're running out of time, so I best shut it down here.
Bob, one last thing.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
sure.
My contact at the Orange County Register, my
Yeah.
mother passed away, so that's gotten in the way of getting to the actual editor of Orange County to do a story about Walnut Village and find out whether or not they're willing to do that. So maybe
Yeah.
by next week I'll have an answer.
Oh,
I was going to say, thank you, Bill. I had turned on the television on, I think it was CBS News, Channel 2 at about 7:15 in the morning. And there was an article about Emerald Court for about 5 minutes. And it was going on, the reporter was going on about how Emerald Court had been 90% vaccinated and they were COVID-free and there was this and that. And they were showing how the people in the dining room were sitting 3 at a table, they're round tables, and how nice it was to socialize. And I said, gosh, why couldn't Walnut Village be on that part of that story?
Because
But-
they beat us to it, just like
They
whoever. was
beat
on
us to it,
NBC.
yeah.
They beat us
did.
to it.
Yeah. But it was such a nice story. And I said, we got a better story than they have, because their tables weren't very nice. They didn't have tablecloths on them, and we're a nicer facility than they are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They're
But we
doing,
did-
Emerald Court is doing a lot of advertising.
Well, I guess, you get what you pay for, I guess. I don't know. So, okay, well, I have one other thing I want to share with you. Let's see. Has everybody received their stimulus checks yet?
What?
Well, let me
No,
share.
my daughter
What are you drinking?
Let me share. Here's what I got in the mail.
Oh,
Just wanted to let you know. Okay, I received my Social Security stimulus packet. It contained 2 tomato seeds, cornbread mix, 2 discount coupons to KFC, a Biden Hope and Change bumper sticker, a prayer rug, and a Blame It on Trump poster for the front yard. The directions were in Spanish. Yours should arrive soon.
That's cute.
So, I was reading the stuff in the stock market today, and it was kind of discouraging because we're now spending $2 to $3 for every $1 we're taking in at the national level. And this new American Rescue Plan, 90% of it had nothing to do with COVID. So we got to be careful with Biden of what he's going to do, because I don't think he's in charge. I think a lot of the liberal left is taking over the government, and it's my personal opinion that.
Stop it, Bob. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Well,
Stop it.
it's be careful, okay? All righty, I'm going to stop there, and
That's good.
I've said my piece. Have a good week. Enjoy
you.
your spring day, and we'll see you next week, okay?
Thank you.